Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. We are happy to welcome you to our second last AMA of 2023. We have Brent and Emma with us. Guys.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, everyone.
So we've got a big agenda for today, and Emma will guide us through the topics that we would like to cover. And then we have some questions that we received over the last months from the community across different channels, emails, in the Telegram group, and so on.
Yeah, thanks, Kennedy. So we'll start today, and I'll hand across to Brent, who'll just take you through some updates on the app and some key statistics that we'll be able to share with you today. So I'll hand over to you for that, Brent.
Cool, thanks, Emma. No, look, it's been an exciting month, November, for us. You know, a lot of the work that we've been building in the last couple of months has started to come into fruition. We launched a new version of the app user interface, some major upgrades to the navigation and just the overall kind of design elements. So I guess it's, important to kind of point out the process we go about for, kind of looking at these changes. So, we obviously want to understand, how people are enjoying the app. And one way you can do that is to obviously ask them. But what we find is people, will report very different things to their actual experiences, right? So the other way to do it is to look into the data and the analytics. So we track all the analytics inside the app. We get a really good understanding of, what the features, people are using, in what order they're using them, and what they're doing. And then, that gives us some really good insight into, an understanding of the user. Another thing we do is in-depth user testing as well. So we get new users to onboard and screen record and share their, whole experience. Because often, we'll pick up things that they can't really articulate or that, they didn't really notice, but we might think is a bit of a lag in the process. And so what we do then is make changes really quickly. Gennady and the dev team have been fantastic on just implementing and shipping improvements consistently. And then we go and do more testing. And this really helps us to build this process of continuous innovation because we're tweaking things, we're getting feedback, we're doing more testing. And so, yeah, look, in the last, month or so, it's really starting to, hit a good point now. So we've grown, we continue to grow our active user base. We're seeing 10% month-on-month growth in users, which is fantastic. The other thing we look at is retention. So, retention is how new users coming in, fantastic, but are they staying? And we've seen about a 20% growth in new user retention. And then the last thing that we look at as well is just the whole process, the whole flow from, installing the app right into signing up to registering. And we've seen about a 30% improvement in, this whole onboarding process as well. So, really positive signs. And really this gives us confidence in our design platform of moving forward. So Gennady and the team, we've been working on the next version of the app. We're calling it 3.0. We're currently on 2.0. And so 3.0 is a huge development step, in terms of the whole user interface, design, user experience, all that kind of stuff. So the more testing we do on 2.0, the more that helps us, build confidence with the direction we're taking 3.0, the next version. And so, yeah, I guess the news is that everything is heading in the right direction. It's been really good in terms of those results. And then coming to 2024, when we'll launch the new 3.0 version, we feel a lot of confidence with the direction that's going. So that's a quick update on the app side of things. I'll hand it back to Emma to go through the next steps.
Yeah, thank you, Brent. It has been really exciting seeing the positive feedback feeding in from our customers as well. So it looks like it's onwards and upwards for us leading into 2024. So I'll hand over to you, Gennady, just to give a little bit of an update and a sneak peek, I suppose, of what's to come for the months ahead. So I'll hand over to you on that front.
Certainly. So as Brent have mentioned, we constantly trying to improve the user experience because that's vital. The user experience dictates the retention rate, how long they're going to spend in the app, but it also gives us ROI on our promotion and marketing that we do on the app, because getting an app user on the platform is half the battle, is showing them value, making sure that they understand how they can use the app is very important. So that's something that we're continually going to be working on. And a lot of the new features going to be released in 3.0. But even in 2.0, we have some major updates. It's probably more on the back end rather than in the actual app. So we've been training our AI recognition of receipts for the last probably over 12 months. And those who are using the app in Australia probably can see huge improvements in the way we're recognizing those receipts. So we started at the point where we probably were capturing maybe 10% of the entire receipt in terms of products. And a lot of stores we couldn't recognize. Obviously, the receipts vary in quality. Some people scan them at the checkout, which is the best, because that's when the receipt is in its perfect condition. But some people would throw it in the bag, in the shopping bag, come home, and it's already crunched up. And obviously, the quality of that capture is not going to be the same. So we had to continue to train our system to understand how to read those receipts. And since then, we moved to a point where the stores that we are supporting, we're almost getting 100% of the data from the receipt, which is vital because it drives a lot of other activities on the platform, which we're probably going to touch on, the boosters and so on. So for us, capturing receipts is very important. And as of now, we're currently supporting, I think, 20 stores. It's chains. So for example, Coles would be one store, Woolworths, even though they have thousands of stores around Australia. But in terms of chains, we're currently supporting about 20 stores. Now, with the testing we've been doing and training of the system, we feel that probably from January to February, we would be able to remove restrictions on the store and start accepting all of the stores. So it's a huge jump from 20 stores to, I think, about 150,000 stores in Australia. So we should be able to recognize receipts from your local milk bar, from petrol station, from restaurants. And why this is important for us is all of this data is helping us to enrich user profiles. Understanding users spending outside of your grocery store is vital for us to be able to map the brands with their target audience. So that's a very big step for us, starting getting the data from pretty much all of the purchases that consumers are making. And that's where we hope to be early next year. So I think it's aimed for 24th of January. That's when we're gonna sort of remove the restrictions on the stores and start accepting all of them. It will probably require a bit more training because system will need to be further trained on those small niche stores, whether it's your local wine store or grocery, like fruit and veggie stores, and so on. So it's probably will take a bit more time to get it to the point where we are with the current 20 stores. But we're definitely moving in the right direction, and it will really enrich and put us in the unique position because there are no other platforms in the world that have such a enriched data on the consumer's shopping behavior. So for example, when you talk about big retailers, yes, they run their own loyalty system and they have very good understanding of the spend of the consumer in that particular store, but being able to see the cross-section of all consumers' activities outside of that store, that's very powerful, and it's helping our brands to achieve the results that they can't do with any of the other platform that they're using for their consumer engagement. So very excited to sort of pre-announce because it's not yet live. We'll probably talk a bit more about it on our last AMA. We'll be closer to to launching it, but early next year, Shping will recognize all receipts in Australia, which is a very big step for us, and we are very excited to see in action.
Yeah, that'll be a huge one for us for sure, Gennady. It's really exciting. We'll be able to really map and understand our customers even more, which is great. So from there, we've actually had quite a high volume of questions come through over the November month. So I'll lead straight into those. The first one that's come through was, I think it would be really cool if you made partnerships with the biggest retailers across the world. Is there any obstacle with this?
So our current focus is brands, because that's who we provide the greatest value to. Retailers typically already have relationship with their consumers, because they come, they shop there, they know who they are, and however, brands are always removed. So the greatest value we deliver currently are the actual brands. In saying that, we are working on some products, which once again, it's probably too early to mention, that will be available for retailers, and we see it as one of the important development or part of our strategy in growing our audience and make the app even more relevant for the users. But we'll probably talk about it early next year. So yes, we see potential partnership with retailers, but most likely it's going to be the second tier down rather than the first tier, because your first tier retailers in Australia, like Woolworths and Coles, they run their own rewards and loyalty programs. And what we're doing could be a bit of duplication of some of the things they do. So we don't see them as our immediate target for that new product that not yet mentioning, but there are a lot of stores. As I said, the big stores chains is 20. That's who we're currently working with, and the potential is 156,000 stores Australia-wide. So yes, retailers is secondary in our strategy. Currently, it's mainly brands. That's who we are trying to help to gain the control over the communication with the end consumers.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Gennady. The next question that's come in is, I really like your project. The website is beautiful and sophisticated. Why does it only work in Australia, and are you planning global operations?
So first of all, kudos to brand, the way our website looks. As we mentioned, and we I think already said that next AMA we're gonna share our expansion plans. So our goal is to be everywhere. Obviously, Australia, we're still experimenting, we're still learning, and we are preparing ourselves for a global rollout. So definitely the plan for Shping to be everywhere in every single country and every single city. But for the time being, we need to get to a point where we have perfected the model and we can avoid any mistakes, which is going to be harder to manage when it's going to be in remote locations. So we want to get to that point here in Australia. And as I said, next AMA, we're going to talk about our expansion plans. So we'll be able to say a bit more on that.
Awesome. We've had two questions come in on IBM, so I'll roll them into the one. When will IBM Trust app be available? And then the secondary component of that is, will the IBM app be available to general public?
Yeah, I think I need to clarify. So so the partnership with IBM is not about creating a new app. The partnership is allowing Shping app users to also access information from IBM for Trust. So IBM had a challenge where they were looking for ways to communicate data on a particular product to the consumer, which should have been communicated at the right point of time, when, for example, just before they're making a purchase. So they may want to know information about the province, traceability data, if it's been kept in the right temperature, and so on. So they develop a very sophisticated system, IBM Food Trust, that captures all of this data, and they work with the manufacturer, they work with the distributors and retailers to put all of this data together, which they use blockchain technology for that. But the sort of the last mile, the communication piece to the end consumer was a challenge. So that's where Shping came in, and we've integrated with IBM and enabled them to transfer this data to the consumer in a very easy way for them to access this data, where they simply scan the barcode. And if this product is part of the IBM Food Trust traceability, then they'll also see a block which says IBM Food Trust information, and they can see information, traceability information straight from the IBM system. So it's not a new app. Basically it's our app that's gonna draw information from IBM Food Trust on selective products that they have data on. So that's to clarify this point.
Okay, thanks, Gennady. So the next question, good morning from the Netherlands. I read about global expansion here. Where can I find this and what does it look like? Are there any new exchanges upcoming? So you've already pretty much answered the first component of that, Gennady. But the second component of new exchanges is probably something that you could talk to.
Look, with the exchanges, as we mentioned a few times before, we constantly running the applying to some new exchanges and trying to make Shping available to more and more users around the world. And as soon as we find out we're going to get any news on any new listings, we'll obviously share them. But there could be some listing that's going to take place even without our involvement, like there was, I think, 1 or 2 recently, where just it was a small exchange who decided to list a Shping coin because in reality they don't really need us to list a Shping coin. The smart contract information is available in public domain, so any exchange in theory could list the coin. So yeah, something that is work in progress, but at this stage we don't have any updates on that.
Perfect. And then the final question that came through is, I've been following Shping since its launch and have been fortunate enough to use the app here in Australia as well. I really like how the app is shaping up. I understand the value from a user's perspective, especially booster items. Could you please explain how this works from a tokenomics perspective? Am I correct in understanding that boosters allow brands to take direct control of their discount strategy with shoppers and fund it with Shping coins?
So yeah, I'll probably start with responding to the question, and then I'll respond to the last bit of the question where the user asked for the confirmation if his or her understanding is correct. So the boosters are really a very valuable part of the Shping platform. And why it's such an important feature of the platform is that it allows brands to incentivize end consumer with rewards, or essentially offering them discount without involvement of the retailer. So if you are a brand and you want to offer 20% discount to your products in any store, you could simply put a post on your Facebook page or Instagram and announce the discount activated through our platform, and that discount is going to be available to anyone purchasing your product in any store without actually arranging that with the retailer, incurring cost that usually relates to all of these specials that brands running with the retailers. So it really gives them this full control, which actually answers this question, and this person actually identified the USP quite accurately, is that it's exactly what it does. It enables brands to bypass the intermediates and actually offer any discounts or any promotion value back to the consumer without any third parties in between. And to do that, they do that with Shping coins. So for example, if there is a booster on the item and the booster value is, let's say, 500 Shping coins. You went and you bought this product. The brand will use our API, purchase 500 Shping coins, pass them straight to the consumer. So in a way, they are using Shping coins to manage that discount. And the plan is once we increase number of retailers, that booster capabilities would be available across the board. And therefore, if you're a brand and you're sold not only through big retailers, you also sold through 7-Elevens, milk bars, different stores, you can make a promo cross retailers. So you could say, buy our bottle of kind of a Coke and get 50% discount anywhere you buy it. And that's very powerful in terms of it's very easy to communicate, but they can make those specials available everywhere. So they're not going to miss out on those consumers who only shop in Woolworths or those who shop in Coles. They can make specials that covers the entire country. And that's a very powerful feature for them. And being able to do that is welcomed by our brands. And it's great for Shping tokenomics as well.
Great. Well, that was the final question. So that just wraps up today's AMA. Was there anything anyone else wanted to close out on?
No, I think we've
covered everything.
The key questions and key points. Thanks everyone for joining us. We look forward to speaking with you. What day is going to be our next AMA? Let's just look at the calendar.
Usually last Friday. So
what's going to be our
29th?
Yep, 29th.
It'll be the Friday before that, most likely, before the Christmas break.
The 29th is a public holiday, is it? Yeah.
I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah. Then it would be the 28th. Unless it's also a public holiday. I don't know.
Well, maybe 22nd. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, the 22nd. We'll announce it in the community.
We'll give you a heads up. But regardless of what day it's going to be, we're looking forward to seeing you there. And for the time being, have a great weekend and speak soon.
Thanks.
Speak soon, everyone. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.
Shping.